What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Fantasy Puck video. I'm your host, Mike, and today's video is going to be on my favorite must-add and drop players as we proceed into fantasy playoffs, the final stretch. So if your team is currently not in a playoff position, these are going to be some players you're going to want to add to hopefully give you that final jump to make playoffs. Let me know in the comment section below how your current record is and what the current playoff picture is looking like in your league. Before we get into this video, guys, make sure you leave a like. Let's go for 100 likes on this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into the must add and drop players video. It's kind of crazy to see how young I look without a beard right now, but the first must add player for this video, Filip Gustavsson of the Minnesota Wild. Now, I'm not entirely sure if he's taken over as that starting goalie in Minnesota, but he's been very, very good recently. I've added him in a few of my leagues. If he does end up taking over that goalie one role in Minnesota, he's going to be an extremely valuable player down the stretch, as this Minnesota team has been very, very hot right now. Kaprizov just scored his 30th goal of the season. Filip Gustavsson, he's just doing it all right now. Very good save percentage, very good goals against average. He's getting wins, he's getting starts. I'm looking at Filip Gustavsson in all of my leagues right now. Moving on to the dreaded Andrew Mangiapane. Probably the worst take of the season, I would say, here at Fantasy Puck. But every player on Calgary has underperformed. Markstrom, Huberdeau, anyone on the first and second line. Kadri's actually been pretty good. But Mangiapane, big underperformer this season. I think it's a very good time to add him. He's down to that third line role, and it's very weird to see. It seems like he's been playing against other teams' depth, and this is where he's been at his best. His shot rate in the first 2 months, 1.6 shots per game. Since then, over 2.5 shots per game for Mangiapane. He's getting shots. His shooting percentage is still under 10% when he's a career 15% shooter. It's likely he starts to find the back of the net in this depth role, playing bigger minutes than we saw last season, over 17 minutes per night as of recently. His shot rate, very good. We're starting to see a glimpse of what we were hoping for going into the season. So I'm looking at Mangiapane, especially for the next couple weeks. Sam Girard of the Colorado Avalanche, with Cale Makar hurt, Sam Girard has stepped into a big role, not on that power play one with Devon Toews in there. I did recommend Devon Toews as a must trade for player, so hopefully you did and you got the benefit of owning him. But Sam Girard right now has stepped into a much bigger role, playing 22 to 26 minutes, hitting all of those peripherals at just 21% ownership. With Cale Makar hurt, Sam Girard is definitely a must-add player. Tyler Bertuzzi of the Detroit Red Wings, we actually just got notice this afternoon. I'm recording on the 14th of February that Lucas Raymond was placed on IR, and Tyler Bertuzzi is going to see a bigger role. He's already playing line one. He's already playing power play one with Dylan Larkin. That's what you like to see from a player at just 20% ownership. He doesn't hit as much as I'd like him to, but he's still getting that opportunity on power play one, top line role, playing decent minutes, good shot volume. Left wing, right wing eligible at 20% ownership. You can likely pick him up in a 12 to 14 team league. Very, very good ad. Now, the next ad is very speculative, and with Lucas Raymond going on the IR, Jacob Vrana was called up after a conditioning stint, 17 games in the minors, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points. Not the best, but when you're on a conditioning stint, sometimes you're focused on other things rather than putting the puck in the back of the net. Just basic fundamentals, getting your legs going again after missing so much time. With Vrana here, it's kind of a shot in the dark. You don't really know what's going to happen. I would say the upside with Vrana is going to be top 6 minutes, power play one. And then I would say the downside with Vrana, so the worst case scenario would be bottom 6 minutes and not any power play. I think he's definitely worth this speculative ad if you want to see how he's going to contribute the next coming days. They play Edmonton tomorrow, so he's likely going to be in the lineup. They might ease him in, so you might need to have a little bit more patience than you would usually have with some players like these. Vrana was a big upside, 30-plus goal scorer going into the season prior to injury and prior to everything else going on in his life. But Jacob Vrana, definitely a speculative ad here. I'd be looking at him in my 14-team leagues. Moving on to more of the deeper league players. First player I have on this list, Nino Niederreiter. I did spell his name right. Arguably the hardest name in the league to spell. 12% ownership, left wing eligible. With Filip Forsberg now day-to-day, we don't know the status of his return. Niederreiter has moved up into a line one role, who has already been very good this season, averaging over 2 shots and 2 hits per game. So he's going to give you that really high floor, and he's been scoring quite a bit the last little bit. So I like to see Nino Niederreiter in a little bit bigger of a role, 18 plus minutes per night. Very good upside there, very low ownership. Someone you can add until Forsberg's back to give you that really, really high floor with the hit and shot volume, but now the added scoring of being on the top line. Moving on, Juuso Välimäki. I can't believe I'm recommending him. Just a very random player here, but Shane Gostisbehere, speculative trade target and hurt. The Coyotes are currently leaving Chychrun out of the lineup for trade speculation. Let me know in the comment sections below where you think he's going to go. Seems like LA is the probable destination here. I honestly can't really argue that. But Välimäki, now playing pair one, power play one role. He's been doing it all peripheral-wise. He's been playing very, very good minutes. He actually had a 4-assist game the other night. So just some upside here at 10% ownership. You're going to get a power play one defenseman. If you're in those plus-minus leagues, definitely not worth adding just because of Arizona. But still, Välimäki, decent upside at 10% ownership. Now, this is arguably my favorite ad of the week. Mike Hoffman, left wing, right wing eligible, just 6% owned. With Caulfield out, Hoffman has now stepped into a very big role, playing 19 plus minutes. His shot rate has been phenomenal. He's been putting up a bunch of points, scoring goals, scoring assists on the power play. I couldn't believe it when I looked and he was just 6% ownership. So in those deep leagues, definitely add Mike Hoffman right away. Seems to have some upside. We saw big years over in Florida, shooting the puck. He still has that power play one role on the right side hash mark where he's taking one-timers and they're trying to get him the puck. Really, really like Hoffman right now. Now, another two deep league players under 5% owned. I know we have some deep league viewers in here. Simon Benoit of the Anaheim Ducks, playing 20 plus minutes per night, top 4 minutes on the defensive end, getting very good peripherals, hits, shots, blocks, pretty much doing it all at just 2% ownership. I mean, it's really hard to find guys in their 16 plus team leagues, especially defensemen that play good minutes and give you those good high floor peripherals. And this is what you're going to get out of Benoit. Lastly, Jacob Pelletier of the Calgary Flames. He is playing with Kadri and Huberdeau over on the second line. His minutes are trending upwards, playing a little bit over 15 minutes per night at just 1% ownership. You're not really going to get too much, especially in those deeper leagues. But he was a very highly touted prospect. I mean, Flames fans can probably argue because of how critical they actually are in their team, and I get it. But Pelletier here, very speculative ad at 1% ownership in those deeper leagues. You don't know what you're going to get out of some prospects. We saw late call-ups like Matt Boldy last year, who ended up producing a lot with the Minnesota Wild, especially when they went on a late season run. And you might see the same thing here from Pelletier. Now, getting into the must-drop players, I'm just going to give you guys 5. I don't want to keep you here too long. First player, Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. I would say the second worst take on this channel. First one, Mangiapane. Second, Evan Bouchard. He is just, everything is down. Minutes are down. Peripherals are down. Shots, blocks, hits, everything's down. He's not putting pucks in the net. I just can't figure out what the problem is. And let me know in the comment section below if you have any idea of why Oilers prospects literally do not pan out. We see Broberg struggling. We see Holloway struggling. We see Bouchard struggling. Yamamoto struggling. Puljujarvi struggling. Like, none of these guys can figure it out. Obviously, we knew McDavid was going to be a big deal. We knew Draisaitl was going to be a big deal at 3rd overall pick. Skinner's actually panned out a little bit, but God, I can't figure it out with these Edmonton Oilers prospects. Just a disaster. Could be a McDavid effect. I don't really know. But Bouchard, he's a drop. 49% ownership over on Yahoo. Wouldn't look to keep him on my roster any longer. Another guy I don't want on my rosters right now, Nicholas Backstrom of the Washington Capitals. Since returning from injury, he actually has been playing a decent amount of minutes, but he's just not really doing much. 2 shots a game. No hits, no blocks. He is getting some power play minutes. He is getting some top 6 minutes, but he's just not really doing enough right now. I think it's just worth it to open up for a streamer spot or add some of the players that I mentioned in this video. Another goalie here, Daniel Vladar of the Calgary Flames, 27% owned. A lot of people thought he was going to be the starting goalie. I did add him in one of my big leagues where I've completely punted the goalie position. It looks like they want Markstrom back in the crease. I can't figure out this Calgary Flames team. I can't figure out this tandem, but Vladar right now for me is a drop. This team has just not been doing it defensively, and it seems like Markstrom's been getting majority of the starts as of recent. And it's crazy to think that a couple games ago, Markstrom got his first win since January 9th. I can't believe what this league has become right now. Moving on, Max Domi, triple position eligible, so kind of hard to drop something like that. Domi's actually been good this season, playing some top 6 minutes, playing some power play, doing some decent peripherals. I think with me right now is with all this talk and rumors about Patrick Kane getting moved, they literally become an AHL team, and it's hard to justify rostering players on teams with no offense. Taze is out right now. Kane is supposedly going to get moved. I think I just can't really see Domi producing at the level he currently is right now with Kane out of the lineup. Just very high point producing player, very good offensive player in Patrick Kane. And I think with him gone, Domi's going to get a little bit worse. So this is time to move on from Max Domi. Finally, Sam Montembeault. So when I was on vacation, I saw all the hype around Montembeault. Everyone was asking if they should add him. Guys, a couple of good starts. There's no reason to add a goaltender on a very, very bad Montreal Canadiens team, a bottom 5 team in the league, 16% owned. He was okay in Florida. Jake Allen's the starting goalie in Montreal. You don't want to own goalies that are on bad teams, and this is what we see with Montembeault. But I get it though, like goalies are very thin this year. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's been good and then bad. Phoenix Copley, another guy. I'd rather be owning Copley. 6Ks, I think you guys all call him. I've actually never heard that nickname, but it's awesome. Or Stuart Skinner over these 2 goalies on the must-drop list. So these are my must-drop players for this week. Hopefully you guys can move on from these players and add some of the players that I had as my must-adds. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions on players that you should be dropping or holding on to, or some players that I may have missed that should definitely be must-drops. That'll do it for the must add and drop players video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.